Hello, and we are live. Well, thank you very much for coming and joining us with Lunchtime with Kathleen and Emily. I am Emily Bolton. I am a CPA and certified tax coach. And joining me today is my co-host, Kathleen. Kathleen?
Hi, Kathleen Packard. I'm a salon owner, cosmetologist, and online marketer. So welcome.
Yes, and we have here with us today a man on a mission to save lives, but also to help change lives, and truly just a fabulous all-around man. I've met him several times, so I'm so pleased to be able to share him with you. Edward Aguilar, welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. Did I butcher your name, your last name?
Yeah, Aguilar is the last name.
Aguilar.
But thank you. I'm excited to be here with both of you and happy for both of you to see what you two are doing. And like I said, we've met before, we've chatted, we know each other's stories. So, and then I've seen Kathleen around, and I love what you two are doing to help other people. So I'm excited to be here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Now, do we get to call you Eddie?
Yeah, you can call me Eddie.
Or what do you like to go by?
I have people Ed, Edward, Eddie, so I don't know why I even said I'd put Edward, but I go by Eddie mostly, so it doesn't matter. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah, we were introduced to Eddie, so, you know, it's really comfortable for me, but I just wanted to make sure that that part was okay. Wow, so, you know, I love your story. I love the fact that when I talk to you, I just get the sense that you truly have an amazing heart. So your life has so much meaning and purpose, and that is one of the reasons why, you know, we were seeking to get you on this hangout with us. So if you don't mind, you want to take a little bit of time and just kind of share with us your story, what brought you online for a business, because that's kind of our topic for the week is, you know, the fact that a lot of people want to have a business and they have very important whys often not. So we'd love to hear yours.
Yeah, what's funny, what brought me into this business was, and as those of you that don't know, a big part of my focus is suicide awareness. I've been impacted by suicide 12 plus times. First suicide I dealt with was when I was age 17, and that was my cousin. And there was probably about 4 people that I grew up with, several people that I fought fires with as a hotshot. The list is endless. But what brought me into this network marketing, internet marketing type world was funny because I was doing my first public speaking engagement, and I was able to have a friend have her come on as a speaker too. Well, she invited me to this event with this company to hear some speakers to get ourselves pumped up. And I'm sure both of you know, and Todd Falcone, he was one of the speakers, and I got excited. And then I started seeing the industry and just started kind of friending some of the people in the industry and seeing what's going on. And once I got in with that company, and then later joined with another company, which is where I met you both. And it's just amazing that I've learned to do videos comfortably. I've learned to go ahead and go deep with the topic that not very many people like to talk about. And because of that, it's helped me reach people all across the world, which is funny because I've gotten emails at 1:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning that if somebody's on the verge of taking their life and want me to email them back, and that's not where I intended it to go. But in my opinion, God has plans, and sometimes you just got to go with it.
Absolutely, and that's a tough thing for people because having been affected by it myself a year ago with my niece taking her life, it leaves you with more unanswered questions than it does answers. And there's a lot of the families that are left behind, and I don't know if that's part of what you help with, or where do you go with that?
Well, and that's funny you bring that up because that's the title of my book is Left Behind, Suicide's Rippling Effect. And so what I did was when it was about 9-10 years ago, a good friend of mine had taken his life, and the thing was right before that happened, I was going through my own little deals, going through depression. I was down to about 155 pounds, which is not my normal weight. That's about 25 to 30 pounds less than my ideal weight. And I kept reaching out to him, and that was my medicine. And I knew he was struggling, and then he ended up taking his life. And soon after, I almost took my life, and came very, very close. And it was, had not I heard my buddy's voice who had just passed, I wouldn't be here today. And whether it was God speaking through his word, his tone, or what, the point is there's a bigger purpose. So once I moved back to Arizona, because I was in Illinois at the time, I'm from Arizona, I talked with his mom and told her like he was number 7. And she's like, Eddie, there's a reason why you have dealt with this amount of suicides up to date. And so what I decided to do is reach out to family members and see if they would be willing to share how it impacted their lives, and create a book. And also with my photography that I've done is have a book with picture of the mom, a brother, or daughter from some of these testimonies, and then their words right next to it, because there are actually people that are going through it, and it's a voodoo word, it's a voodoo topic, and to me it's one of those facing the giant, square up, and just saying, I'm gonna do what I can on my part to take you down. So that's kind of where I was going with that, Kathleen.
Yeah, I think that's very huge, because I think, when it happens, that people tend to avoid the subject, and that's not how people heal. I think that people need to share, and they want to speak about it, but a lot of people just put up their guard. It's like, no, I've got something else to do, or they avoid them altogether, or what happens. But people need healing in those cases.
Yeah, they do. But here's the thing that people don't realize is, whether it's that or sports or going into business, it's all fear-based. So like you two talking about being an entrepreneur, having your own business, possibly working from home, starting your own brick-and-mortar business or whatever, we're talking about suicide. It's fear-based. It's a fear of criticism. What are other people going to think? And I faced that, and from time to time I still face that, where I focus on what other people are going to think. But then to get myself out of it quicker than I had in the past is, you don't count the liabilities, you count the assets. You turn around and say, well, look at it, share part of my story on their show, and they got something of value. So-and-so messaged me, and I helped them get through a tough time. So you need to look at the wins and not the possible losses, which haven't even taken place yet. So.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
and
huge.
Sometimes it's that kind of negative talk that tries to keep you from your destiny, and it needs to just be silenced. And that's what needs to be silenced, not our talking of the topic. We must bring this out. And I'm just going to come right out and say myself, because both of you know this as well, but maybe some of our viewers don't, that I'm a close survivor of suicide as well. My husband, late husband, committed suicide back in 1998, leaving me with 3 little kids to raise. And, it was a very public affair, and, my house was heavily damaged in the process. So, I ended up being homeless for a couple of months while that house repair was done, all that restoration was done. So my circumstance was very public. And as I chose to, my approach was not to sweep it under the rug. My approach was just to be very transparent about it and to raise my children and address the issues and their mental health issues and my own as we progressed, as we began to heal. And just, I like to say that I don't believe that time heals anything. I believe it's what you do with the time that heals, that brings the healing. And part of that is what we are doing. It is about talking about it. It is about sharing, and it is about opening up the doors to this conversation with the world. There are people that are hurting all around you, and many of us, like myself back then, I had no idea what that looked like. I did not know what the signs looked like. I do now, but I didn't then. So perhaps our conversation, your book, it's an amazing book, perhaps that will help people know what the signs are and be able to save lives. So I am so glad that you are here, that we're having at least a portion of our conversation to this amazing why, you know, the meaning and purpose in your life and mine, you know, to bring this out. And that's why yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, I had posted a video of a young lady, Julia Autumn Ford, and Julia actually is the daughter of a woman that I went to high school, actually my brother's class. I personally didn't know her, I wasn't friends with her, if you will, but her own daughter came very, very close, and in that last moment was inspired to turn to music, and well, she apparently has a musical heart and talent, and just really wrote a song that gave her back her life, and now she's going forward with that, and I want to do whatever I can to get some exposure to this young lady and that amazing message she has, as I do with you. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I saw that video, and it was powerful. You know, I read your words, but also just in her song, she's sharing it with the world, and that's the thing, is that we got to be, as individuals, quit being afraid of criticism. And to get through those tough times, you know, I've stepped back and forth with the book because it's trying to balance my life as being a dad, trying to bring in enough money to, you know, make sure things are good at home, so on and so forth. Was I've backed out, and one of the past times where I was going to back out was when my dad ended up in the hospital just over 2 years ago. And when I was in the hospital, I said, you know, I'm going to back away from the suicide deal. I'm going to be a dad. I need to go find a real job. Forget this book for now, put it on the back burner for a while, etc., etc. And as I was in the hospital with my dad, I knew he was going to pass. And I prayed to God, and I said, you know, I asked him for several favors. I said, one, if you leave my dad, please leave him whole. Two, if you take him, you know, it's between you and him, whether he stands by your side. And three, I said, if you take him and he's by your side, please give me a sign. And as he passed several days later, it was the biggest, brightest sign you can see. And we did the funeral real quick. And so at my dad's funeral, I did not take my dad's passing. Like you said, time heals all. You know, you're not a big believer in that's what you do at that time. I wholeheartedly agree, because I wasn't crushed by my dad's passing, even though it was unexpected. I took it as I was blessed to have my dad for 40 years. How many people didn't have a dad? I was blessed to have somebody teach me lessons. How many didn't have that male role model? And it was my duty as a son of my dad, as he's done and taught me in the past, was to take care of those that can't take care of themselves. You heal on your own, you mourn on your own, but somebody needs to stand up and make sure others are taken care of. And it's kind of that role that's carried on with kind of the suicide deal. And real quick, at the funeral, I was talking to a friend of his that I hadn't personally met yet, and I mentioned something about the book. And he asked me, he says, would you like another testimony? And right then and there, I knew he wasn't talking about having lost somebody. He was talking about taking his own life. And he was a Vietnam vet. And he, as soon as he said that, I got mad. I mean, I got ticked off, blood boiled quick. But I kid you not, within split seconds, it was gone, because then I looked up, and I looked up to the sky, kind of looked at my dad and God and said, all right, I got you. This is what I'm supposed to do. And kind of helped him out of that. So, yeah. Can't ignore what you're being called for.
Yeah, it's an amazing ministry. And, you know, if we don't let people know that this is part of our history, and you can't really minister out of something that you don't know, you know. And so, but when people do know that you've come through this, they can then turn to you. And I've been so blessed to be able to have been called on and to really speak words of life into people who were beginning to let go of that. And really, it's how do you thank God? How do you just thank God for the privilege of loving on people and helping them through darkness, so that they can go on to live an amazing life, and too, their families don't suffer that ripple effect that you and I and Kathleen know all too well. So thank you so much for sharing. And I see some time is elapsing, but before we lose all our time, and this is an amazing conversation, and I thank God for the opportunity to do our work here, but tell us about what you're doing now.
Well, right now, probably about a week and a half ago, you both know Jason Lagarde, good friend of mine, came out with a new product called Climbing Mindset Mountain. And I had been a wildland firefighter, which is part of a hotshot crew, kind of like the Navy SEALs of wildland firefighters, and I did that for a while. So I've always been instilled with mindset. My dad, ex-Vietnam vet, just taught mindset. Playing baseball, football, or basketball, whatever it is you're doing. And so we created a product based on mindset, and we did it in a way that we know nobody's done. And it goes back to like what you two are doing, is stepping beyond your boundaries, trying to find a new way to connect with people. And we get deep in it. I mean, we share ourselves just like as the three of us have already. And it's just, we offer that. We offer an audio as a bonus, and we offer an ebook based on the fire triangle. And like you said, everything can be related to life in general, which is your business, which is friendships, relationships, finances, whatever. It's all tied in somehow. So we're pretty excited. We spent most of our time creating the product and not really promoting it as much, which most people would do the other way and say, well, we can't put it out there until it's perfect and the stars are aligned and from God knows who to get it out there. And we just said, let's do this, let's create it, let's put it out there. And we already had some people that one person's just like, I cannot believe you guys have not been out there already. This is just unbelievable. So we're pretty excited about it.
Well, I can imagine that, knowing both you and Jason, that it is something that must come truly from the heart. And I can believe that would touch a ton of people. And I think that's the whole shift. It's like we've got a whole mindset here of love that we just want to give. Our whole joy in life comes from being able to give and uplift others, and looking for that special way to touch another person's life that they want to keep going on, or it gives them the courage to bust through some fear that they've got or whatever. I'm excited to plug in and see what you guys are doing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're excited. It's just like you two, I mean, you two are exposing yourself and being transparent on this show, and a lot of people fear that. And one thing that clicks, and I posted it on my page yesterday, was Tony Robbins says, that which is yours that you choose to share, you get to keep. But that which is yours that you don't share, you lose forever. Oh, and that's part of our stories.
Yeah, that's very nicely put. And I know you two are just amazing men, you and Jason, and you have that big heart, and we do too. And one of the things that I know that you want to convey, because we've had times, I think the last time I saw you was like in February, and we just kind of hung out for a long time, having some real deep conversation in the middle of a lot of other conversations going on. So it's pretty amazing. But each one of us has this ability to show others a way to get through those mindset issues, to build their businesses, because we are in that online space. And one thing that we all know here is that when you do come online, you're going to hit that fear barrier. You're going to hit the mindset issues. So in every one of us, we need to get through it. And what you're trying to do and what we're trying to do is just to help people through it as quickly as we can help them, so that they can get on their way to, you know, success and prospering and really making, you know, making a good time of it. You know, I'm thinking of that whole hero's journey. My mind's been kind of in this place, and I had shared a book with Kathleen and our team the other day, but and it has to do with marketing towards edifying people, marketing towards uplifting people, as opposed to the historical formulas that's sort of fear-based, you know, that's sort of kind of stirs up the fear, the anguish, the, you know, the anxiety, maybe you're missing out on something, and the pain. And rather than that, to shift the marketing, as you're doing and as we're doing and as we see a number of other people starting to do, to shift the marketing to one of edification, uplifting, and helping people and getting them through that whole mindset stuff quickly, as opposed to entangling them and getting them snagged in, you know, all the fear stuff that comes up. So, yeah. So do you have a theme? Did you say it was based sort of on that hotshot stuff?
Yeah, what we did is we actually no whiteboards. It was it's an hour and 20-minute video, which is the main product, and then we have 2 bonuses. But it was, we went on a hike and we videoed parts of, you know, beginning at the base of the hike. You got somebody like Jason who has never hiked the way I've hiked. You know, I know I've learned a lot about hiking because that's what I did for a living. And part of it is just even something simple, standing at the base of your mountain and looking up, saying, okay, that's where my goal is. It's way up there. Oh man, this is gonna, you know, at first you're excited. So then as you start going, then all of a sudden the little pains step in. Your legs begin to hurt. Then where is your mental thinking? You know, and just different ways on how you climb your mountain, whether it's, you know, leaving your full-time job and working from home, or starting a new relationship, or writing a book, or shooting a video. There's just, you know, life's full of mountains, peaks and valleys, and, you know, the goals are always up top, but a lot of people don't even start the journey because they fear of what's in between. So yeah, that's where we do a lot of help. So there's humor, there's we get deep in it, and, you know, we just share our personal experiences, and that's what it's about.
Sounds so neat. I just think about, you know, and I think the world is, a life is full of, you know, the flow of the ebb and the tide, and you know, it's like you can't enjoy the good if you haven't known the bad.
Exactly.
You know, you've got to have something to comparison to, and as we go through these journeys, we're always going to come up against those obstacles. But if we've made it through them, and we know that there is, you know, that goal at the end that you can reach, and the more that you push through, the more rewards that you get. And I think it's just giving people that encouragement to take that first step. Be willing to take that first step, and yeah, you're probably going to feel that burn, but
definitely
you'll pass through that. You'll pass through that.
but see, that's where the value of this show is. Both of you on your own can influence a lot of people, but together you two are just going to kill it because you both offer different perspectives. And that's one thing, same thing in life, is sometimes some people feel you got to do it all on your own. Only so far you can do that on your own. There comes a point where you need a support system. And whether that's, you know, and that's what we've all found, you know. I know I can call Emily, I know I can call you, Kathleen, vice versa, or we all have our people that we can call that are going through the same journey. So
Oh.
that's the blessing.
Yes, I'm so blessed to have Kathleen. I knew full well I didn't want to do this alone. And, you know, I need that woman to balance me, because I could be so intense. You know, I've got that whole CPA, that certified tax coach thing, and I got that professional thing. So, you know, boy, I can get really intense on occasion. And so she just helps me just like relax and brings the softer side of me out.
Exactly. And that's where Jason and I have already gone through since we put this out. You know, some of our concerns, like, where are some of the people we know? And Jason got a little concerned about it. I'm like, hey, we just put this out. Let's just calm down. Let's keep each other. And there's times where Jason turns around and keeps me in check and saying, hey, think about it this way. And it's like, to have that, you need that balance. And two different personalities, I think, vibe great. I learned that from hot shotting was, you got a superintendent and the foreman, the two leaders of a hotshot crew. If they were very similar, I mean, almost exactly, that crew wouldn't operate very well. If you had a good balance of two different personalities, boy, you'd be amazed at what type of crew you would have, because you got different people to mesh, and all of a sudden you got this team of variety of people that are one. And because of the differences, you guys can kick some butt. So.
Wow, I really like what you have to say, because, you know, we're really hot on this whole teampreneur concept, right, Kathleen? You know, this is kind of picking up a bit in the company that we're associated with. So, but it really meets our hearts. I mean, that's exactly where we are in that sense of that just, you know, being a team and cooperating. And I really, really liked what you had to say about the opposite. If they were both alike, on, you know, that team wouldn't operate very well. And that's the truth. We do need each other for the talents and the interests and the thought processes that are a little bit different. The strengths and weaknesses of everybody. We need those to come together and be a whole. And wow, so that was a great really, really great comment to make, and I think one that we might be able to wrap this show up on. But before we do, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, there's two ways. One, obviously, on my name below is eddieaguilar.com, which is my blog site. And also, if you're interested in looking at the Mindset Mountain, it's www.mindsetmtn.com. So that's where me and Jason have our value, but also you can connect with me through eddieaguilar.com. So that's where I host my videos and my posts and whatnot. So
excellent. And you're on Facebook as well?
I'm on Facebook as well, so if we're not friends, please feel free to friend me. And I have to throw this out, was anybody watching this that are friends with Kathleen or Emily that are even thinking about, you know, okay, well, I'm going to check into what they're doing, you couldn't be joined with two better people. So I highly recommend get in with these ladies.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks a bunch. You're so kind. You're such a gentleman. We love you. We love you. We love you. Hey, buddy. Thanks for joining us, and thank you to our viewership for joining us as well. Have a fantastic day. Peace be with you. God bless.
Thank you.
Bye.